Okay, there it goes. Okay, so it's like 12:18 a.m. on Sunday, February 26th now? Yeah, because, yeah, I'm still wearing the same outfit. Finally out the phone with my mom, and for those of you who don't know, I don't get to talk to her that much. I'll have to do a whole another video on that. I've got, like, videos on that elsewhere. Yeah, anyhow. So, this is what it usually looks like after I've talked on the phone with my mom. Mostly it's her talking. I write notes. Because like, I was asking about her high school years and trying to identify some high school photos I have of her and her sister. Like, okay, so with my family, I like genealogy and I like family stories, but growing up, I didn't get any of that. Okay, so on my dad's side, my parents divorced when I was 7, and of course, when you're 7, you're like running around playing. You're not gonna have the patience to listen to a family story. Plus, my dad's side isn't really sentimental, from what I understand. So, no stories on that side. I have no idea what his childhood was like or anything. Nothing. And then on my mom's side, I haven't seen her. I've seen her once since I was like 13. It's a whole nother issue, but I mean, it's fine. So, like, my mom was, trying to, put food on the table and take care of me and whatever else. So there wasn't really time for family stories and reminiscing. But I don't know, I would have been into that in high school or in middle school. But, when you're a kid, you're not really that interested in family history. You're just interested in what you're doing. So, yeah, I'm like doing genealogy, trying to figure out, like, sorry, I'm all over the place. Like, when certain photos were taken, like what grade they were in. Because we don't have my mom's family history. We don't have my mom's yearbooks anymore. I think they got lost when she in the divorce or something, or they've gotten lost over the years. I have no idea where they are. Some I've been able to identify thanks to classmates.com. Not all yearbooks are on there, so some I have to guess. And okay, so let's see if I can get on track here. I feel like I'm 90 miles a minute. Like, try talking about this, and no one is going to see what I'm saying. This is how fast my brain is. I'm trying to keep up, and it's not really working. Yeah, I sound like an auction. Like, I'm trying to gather all my thoughts and, like, say them so they make sense. And it's like, I feel like this is very off track, and I'm aware that it's completely off track. But it's like, I have thoughts going in my head like this, and I'm trying to get them out before they go away. And if I talk as fast as my brain is going, I'm going to sound like I am trying to auction off the family farm. And I would like for people to understand what I'm saying. Okay, so when I was growing up, let's say from age 7 back, I was raised by my parents. From age 7-ish to 7, 9, 12, whatever. I was kind of between my mom and my grandparents. This back and forth because my mom was a single parent, kind of work and make money and keep me at the same time. And at some point, I moved in completely with my gran and pop. I'd say, it was around middle, I forget, like, elementary, middle school, somewhere in there. It was like a gradual transition, so there's no exact date. And at some point, my mom, when I was like 13 or 14, I don't remember exactly, gave custody of me to my grandparents, because, they could provide for me, and I had a stable life there, which is what made sense. Bear in mind, at the time, I didn't know any of this. I was told nothing of any of it. I just stayed at I just thought it was more convenient to stay at my grandparents, because, yeah, whatever. Anyhow, so apparently, I found out later on when I saw the papers, when I was snooping, because I snoop around, but whatever, who doesn't, that my mom was supposed to get custody of me when she got back on her feet, but my grandparents refused, so, yeah, I'm technically still with them. Though now it's kind of by choice, but whatever. Anyhow, so, growing up, I always, I was taught that, hey, this is my grandmother, and my papa, I'm not going to say their names. Eventually, grandmother turned into gran, and papa turned into pop. They're just gran and pop now, because, yeah. Okay, so growing up, I thought gran and pop were my mom's parents. My mom and her sister's parents. And I didn't really know any different. eventually, when I was a little bit older, like maybe 9 or 10 or whatever, my mom explained that they weren't her biological parents. They raised her and her sister. And my gran, I mentioned this before, is actually my mom's older first cousin, so I am blood related to my gran. And then my pop's her husband. I mean, so they're technically my first cousin once removed and her husband. But I'm not going to call her that. I mean, that's weird. So they've always been gran and pop to me, so I just refer to them as my grandparents, even though gran and pop are not my biological grandparents. Okay, that cleared up. So, naturally, because I thought that they were her parents, I thought they raised mom and her sister from, like, little babies on up. And then later on, when I found out that they weren't her parents, I never really questioned who raised them before or when they moved in with her. So, I just kind of assumed that they raised them pretty much from little kids on up. But that wasn't the case. My mom and her sister. Okay, for those of you who are wondering why I'm saying my mom and her sister, not my mom and my aunt, I don't ever remember meeting my aunt or my mom's sister as a kid. So to say aunt, her name, it just feels weird because I don't have that connection. It's like with my grand sister. She remarried later on when I was like in my late 20s or early 30s. I'm still in my early 30s, so I forget how recent they got married. I think it was like in my late 20s. So it's like when you have an aunt or an uncle who remarries and you're like in your 20s or 30s or whatever, it feels weird to call this new person aunt or uncle when you don't. So it is now about 6:35 p.m. on Sunday, February 26th, I think. I made a video earlier today that was a little off because, yeah, whatever, ADD, yay. Anyhow, so my video today is my second video today is going to be a little different because I did the makeup thing, but I did it in photos, and hopefully I'll find a music track that's the right length for it. If I want to choose music lengths, music to add to my whatever, I want it to be the right length, and apparently I only know how to add one track per video. Yeah, we'll see. It may just be silence, we'll see. Or me talking over it, I don't know. But yeah, I wanted to do another how I do my makeup thing, but I also wanted to listen to music, and my phone is so awesome that I cannot record and listen to Spotify at the same time, so Spotify won. So yeah, this is not sponsored by Spotify, it's just the app I have, just so we're clear, okay? Okay, so I don't know if this is a generational thing or a southern thing, but, okay, so now watching makeup gurus online, which I clearly am not, they use different terms for makeup than what I'm used to. Okay, so, no, it's like from what I understand on the internet, at least from what I've seen on YouTube, foundation refers to the skin-colored makeup you put on. Makeup is just makeup overall. Foundation, mascara, eyeshadow, blush, bronzer, highlighter, whatever. Okay, so yeah, got that. Alright, so I don't remember when I started wearing makeup exactly. I know it was in high school, and I graduated in 2001, so y'all do the math. Was it 1997 or 98? So roughly somewhere in there, 97, 98, I started wearing makeup. And this is, I've tried to do how I did my makeup in high school. Granted, I don't really remember what I did, other than I used completely the wrong color, because I didn't know any better, but yeah. So anyhow, when I was learning to do makeup for my grandmother, yeah, my gran is 40 years older than me, so maybe, I don't know if it's generational, or if it's a southern thing. I think it might be a southern thing, at least southern thing back in the 90s, or late 90s, early 2000s. Okay, so when I was growing up, I was taught that there was foundation, and makeup. We're kind of the same thing. When I say makeup, I mean the skin-colored makeup. I'll just say skin-colored. It did not include, it depended, when you were talking about it, it depended on the context. If you're talking about makeup overall, it was anything and everything. When you're talking about when you said you needed to go buy more makeup, it typically referred to the skin-colored makeup. Okay, so from now on, when I say makeup, I mean the skin-colored makeup. Well, I'll get into it in a second. So, okay. Growing up, foundation was the makeup, foundation was what went on your skin first. So let me show you. I've got my makeup. Okay, so this is the, I think back in the day all I used is, there's like CoverGirl and Maybelline. I just use, like Walmart brand, because that's what we could afford. I don't know what else there was, but yeah, anyhow. So this is what I have now. So this is NYX HD Studio Photogenic Foundation. This is foundation in nude. Yeah. Oops. And there it went in the floor. Oh well. And then I have, I think I'm about to drop things. Boots have number 7, or Boots number 7, whatever it's called. And Airbrush Away Foundation. See, it says foundation on here. This is Calico, and this is not my shade. This is the lightest one they have, and it makes me look gray. Looks like I'm a corpse, so yeah. I don't like that one that much. And then I have Dream Matte Mousse and Porcelain Ivory, and here it says foundation. And right there it's blurry, but trust me, it says foundation. And then finally I have this Clean Finish Matte. This is actually, okay, this one might not be a good example, but okay, look at the bottle, not the color. And this is Clean Finish Matte Foundation. This is actually a bunch of different ones mixed together because it was too dark, so yeah, ignore the color. And so those would have been considered foundations, and those would go on your skin first. I don't remember, I don't know if primer was a thing back then. I mean, if it was, I had no idea. It wasn't sold in Walmart, so I was oblivious to it if it existed. And of course, back then, highlighter and bronze highlighter was not a thing at all. Nobody highlighted anything. Nobody contoured. You had you tried to make your eyebrows thin back then. I didn't do that because I didn't want to tweeze my eyebrows, but whatever. That was a thing back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Okay, so my makeup, what I would have considered, or what I still consider my makeup now, would have been things like this. We have CoverGirl True Blend. See, this is, what is this? CoverGirl True Blend Liquid Makeup Base. Because this is liquid makeup base, it might be considered foundation. I'm not sure. I never figured that out as a kid, or as a teenager. So this would just be makeup. Not foundation, just makeup. And then second, I have Dream Liquid Mousse Airbrush Finish in number 10 Porcelain Ivory. This would be considered makeup, not foundation, because it doesn't say foundation. I guess that was the rule. I have no earthly idea what the difference is. But yeah, this is makeup, not foundation. And then I have these two powders. I have this, what is this? CoverGirl Fresh Complexion Oil Control and Translucent Pressed Powder by Noxzema and Translucent Beige. This is when my gran was getting rid of her makeup. Sorry, I can't talk. My gran was getting rid of some of her old makeup and just handed this to me. I haven't used it, and I don't think I will because it is a bit dark for me, and it's kind of old. I don't know how old this is, seriously. Now look, got a picture in a picture there. This could be from the 1990s. I have no idea. I probably will not use that. Anyhow, and then I have this newer one, Revlon New Complexion Powder Oil-Free Sand Beige, I think. And this one, if I can get it open, yeah, this Revlon deal, this would have, there went the thingy, and that would have been considered makeup as well. So yeah, that's what I grew up with. I never see, like, oh, I gotta pick up my little powder puff thing that I'm totally going to use. So like, I never hear anyone using those terms like that when I'm watching makeup videos. Granted, I don't go looking for it, so maybe there's someone else out there who does refer to them as that. But I just wanted to share that with whoever's watching this. That's what we used to call makeup versus foundation, and makeup overall. It depended on the context as for whether makeup referred to that or everything. Yes, it did lead to some confusion sometimes, but usually when you had to go by makeup, it was that. If you wanted eyeshadow, blush, whatever, you would specify what it was you wanted. So, yeah. And I've got to leave and go to dinner, and I will see y'all later. And yeah, I'm wearing makeup, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to my grandparents' house, so awesome. We had plans, and they fell through, so yay, I'm all glammed up for nothing. Woohoo! So, well, minus eyeshadow, because I don't feel like it. Whatever. Okay, bye!